Hey guys, today AMC experienced a ton of consolidation throughout the day while GameStop once again defied hedge funds and had a comeback, undoing much of the manipulated dip that dropped it yesterday. AMC came out with amazing news that they would no longer pursue and instead withdraw their proposal to sell 500 million shares, and instead would be filing a shelf registration today with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission to permit the issuance and sale of up to 43 million shares. These shares will be sold as an effort for AMC to raise cash, pay off their debt and fill their funds as they were mostly depleted due to theaters closing due to COVID. Due to there being around 450 million shares outstanding, these additional 43 million shares would represent around 9.5% dilution. This news sent joy as it spread, giving many people who remained skeptical about the possibility of an AMC squeeze confidence now in the stock. And we saw this manifest itself in the price action, as the stock surged both when the news came out yesterday and at 7 a.m. today when some brokers allowed people to trade the stock in extended hours. I want to stress again to my audience that this will not prevent or delay the squeeze. Looking through order flow data, we know that the buy volume is consistently higher than the selling, implying these shares are going to get snatched up really quick by investors who are not planning on selling. GameStop, on the other hand, did not experience a lot of news. We know that it has been announced that their CEO, George Sherman, will be stepping down around the end of July. Though the company has not yet announced a replacement for the role, they emphasize their drive to find someone suited to revert the company back to a profitable business model. With that said, I want to make sure you guys take note of something interesting. We talked about how hedge funds are having a harder time shorting the stocks. It appears, and is my interpretation, that they are finding it increasingly difficult to short stocks with effectiveness, even though means of using ETFs or indexes. This is due to the fact that when I compare chart performance on the daily, when one stock is attacked, the attacks barely dip it, and more importantly, only one of the stocks seems to take most of the dip. The funds and position hedge funds are in now can only get more volatile and dire. We know AMC and GME chart and move similar. This is due to the effective strategy model hedge funds implemented, where they add naked shares through OTC markets and hide this through in the money option trades. This symbiotic relationship between these two stocks presents a really bad position for hedge funds because good news in one stock will help move the other. We know the AMC withdrawal of the 500 million shares caused a short little after-hours rally on AMC. But when you look at GME stock, it was also reflected there. We know AMC is coming back as COVID restrictions ease off and they soon start bringing the business back to life. We also know that GameStop is seeking to revamp their business model. As good news and catalysts are met, the stocks will reflect that bullish sentiment. I think the worst is behind these companies, and when looking into the future, I honestly do see both companies surviving and performing well. This bullish sentiment will bring in another batch of wary investors, which will only build pressure. I think we are in a really good position with both stocks. The outlook for the future is bright and I am incredibly bullish as to where we will down the road. With this said, let's quickly cover today's performance. Let's begin with GME. We began pre-market dipping. The news of AMC caused a small upward movement yesterday, but it did not carry into today. The dip brought it around $4 down, which is honestly pathetic. Upon market opening, the stock bounced to 173 before dipping again back down to 166. This is where I think hedge funds sort of gave up and decided to allocate efforts of shorting to AMC, because after 10 a.m. today, the stock moved in an almost vertical pattern. It was only until after 1 p.m. that we saw a huge single vertical candlestick almost reach 181 that the stock started pulling back a bit. It consolidated for around an hour and a half before it made another run and made the high of the day at 181.98. I do not think the shorters have enough capital or means to drop it enough, so I feel pretty certain about predicting where we might be tomorrow morning. The drops will still keep it trading between 177 and 181. With GME being so high above the VWAP line, it is incredibly likely we see the stock running to 181 or higher. We have a ton of consolidation for the last 2 hours in this price range and have built a good support wall at 179 and at 176. We have a lot of resistance at 182,181 and 180. It is also interesting that even with this resistance building up, GME was building pressure due to an ascending triangle it formed. It kept making higher highs over 5-minute timeframes. However, this pattern was also destroyed by hedge funds, as it could have sent the stock easily over 190 and 200 after hours. The attack left the stock trading around 177, which is the support wall I mentioned. It then quickly broke it before bouncing up. However, the bounce was spectacular to see, as it showed retailers do have the control of where the stock will move. The influence and leverage of power of hedge funds is diminishing, and this is shown in how easily within a couple of minutes GME recovered and moved up. The stock quickly surged to the 180 resistance wall and consolidated around this price. This was just so endearing to see what a transition of power looks like when it's returned to the people. The stock dipped a bit then, closing at 178. Again, the price range tomorrow should be around 176 and 181. If the price drops below 176, expect support around 174.50. And that is it for GME today, guys. Just a great performance overall. I am super duper proud of all you kings and queens. Now with AMC, we actually begin pre-market incredibly bullish. This was due, again, to the great news we received yesterday. The stock managed to build pressure and break out to 11.79. However, it was promptly attacked and dipped all the way to market open. We saw it dip almost to 10.60 before a bounce back to 11.40. However, I really like the performance displayed by AMC. Even when hedge funds allocated most assets to short the stock, it traded sideways for most of the day. It traded between a range of $10.80 and $11. It was only at closing hour that we saw the stock get directly attack and dip vertically, but not by much. After 3 p.m. we saw the stock vertically dip, implying a whale shorter, breaking the support it had built all day. It brought it down to 10.67, but much like GameStop, AMC experienced a surge of bullish volume, bouncing the price up to 10.95. The price then dipped a bit and closed at 10.85. Again, I expect the price action to trade between 10.80 and 11 pre-market tomorrow, at least before hedge funds start introducing naked shorts. If the price breaks support, expect it to hold at 10.67, which is where the next support wall is. And that covers everything in regards to AMC that I wanted to share with you. Today's performance was incredible to see. It gave me a sense that things are changing. It's more than just the price hitting a new bottom or new high. It shows the relevance and power in financial firms slowly decaying. The monopoly of power they exerted on price action seems to slowly transition into the hands of a bunch of retail traders. The fact that AMC consolidated most of the day and GameStop moved up as if it didn't know what shorting was just fantastic to see. I do not know about you guys, but I am feeling more bullish than ever. Drop a like, tell me in the comments how today made you feel, and subscribe if you are new. Thank you, guys, for being here with me. Thank you for making it possible to not feel so alone and take place in my life. You are all so awesome and words cannot portray how I feel towards you. I hope to see you tomorrow, so have a great rest of your day.